Hey everybody, this is Ray Carsillo, and I have the pleasure of speaking with an old friend who we talked with at Halo 3 ODST and now Halo Reach. Brian Jarrard, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for coming by.
Anytime, man. Anytime there's a new Halo title out, we are more than happy to come by. But this is even though it's a prequel, it looks to be the biggest and most badass Halo yet. Tell us a little bit about Halo Reach.
Yeah, you're right. I think you just did a pretty good summary there. So we are going to kind of come full circle. The story itself takes place before the events of Halo Combat Evolved. It's a standalone story, new characters, a brand new adventure, and it's a great entry point for people that are new to the series or for fans of the whole trilogy as well. There'll be a lot of backstory there, but no Master Chief. This is about Noble Team and their efforts to try and hold back the Covenant invasion of the planet Reach. And ultimately, people that know the fiction know that the planet will fall, but what you don't know is what these guys and girls are able to do on the ground, and what they do on the planet eventually kickstarts the whole chain of events that leads to Master Chief's sort of galaxy-spanning crusade throughout the whole trilogy. And as far as we're concerned, this is the biggest and best Halo game we've ever made. It's certainly the most ambitious project Bungie's ever created, and we've put more features and more new gameplay and more experiences into this game than we ever have before.
Now, of course, you mentioned Noble Team. Who do you play as in Noble Team, and how do you fit into Noble Team?
So Noble Team is a group of Spartan 3s, and the player will assume the role of a character known as Noble 6. So all we know about Noble 6 is that he or she is relatively new to the squad. The rest of Noble Team has been together. They've seen a lot of battles together, but presumably we're led to believe that the original Noble 6 was somehow killed in action recently. So you're the replacement. That's really all we're going to know about Noble 6. This is really kind of the vessel for the character. You'll be able to customize your Spartan way greater than you ever could before. I mentioned right from the outset you can decide if you want to be a male or a female, and that will impact your player's voice as well as physical appearance. And then throughout the course of the game, you'll be able to upgrade and customize your armor with all sorts of unlockables, and you'll actually see your own unique Spartan in the campaign, including the cinematics. So if you want to rock out with pink armor and a unicorn emblem, you'll see that in the cinematics.
I'm sure all the lady gamers will appreciate that, along with the female models.
I know some guys that like the pink Spartan and male unicorns and unicorns too, so I'm not trying to be sexist.
Good stuff. You mentioned, of course, that you're trying to put in a whole new, different kind of, all these different experiences over the course of the game. Something that we saw on the demo was the space mission. Tell us a little bit about that. And I got a little, I'm going to admit, I got a little giddy when I saw it because it reminded me of old school Rogue Squadron. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Reach for us is the biggest defining Halo game. We want to make this campaign be the biggest, best campaign that we've produced to date. So I think one example of that we showed is taking players from really intense infantry-based ground combat, traditional Halo combat, fighting against elites with Noble Team in tow, and then seamlessly bring the player right up into space and put them behind the stick of a saber. And we're going to let them fight against Banshees and enemy Seraphs. And in this mission, the goal is to try and defend this station. And from there, I'm not going to spoil where the mission goes, but today you just got a small glimpse of that. But really the goal is to make each mission awesome, memorable, have a lot of unique experiences, and I think this is going to be the best Halo campaign yet.
Very cool. Now, of course, whenever you have a shooter, there's another big thing besides experiences is what weapons are you going to use. Are there any new kinds of weapons that maybe we'll find on the planet Reach? Absolutely.
The great part, fictionally, Reach is sort of the hub of the UNSC's entire military machine, right? So the Spartan program is born there. Their shipyards and all these factories are there. So sadly, when the planet is destroyed, a lot of prototypes went away with it, which is why you don't see these things later in the game series, such as jetpacks and these armor abilities like our drop shield. Weapon-wise, though, I think today you got a small taste of a new weapon called the Target Locator. This basically allows you to paint a target, call down an orbital strike from one of your frigates above the planet, and I think, as you saw, it will annihilate anything in its path, friend or foe.
Yeah, I owned in Firefight thanks to that weapon, so thank you for putting that into the game.
And that'll be in the campaign as well. And obviously we have a lot of great new additions to the sandbox, some of which were in the beta, things like the DMR, the beefed up pistol. On the Covenant side, we have the needle rifle, we have the plasma launcher. So I think you'll see that overall the arsenal has been refined and enhanced, and every weapon has a really unique role, and they all are very satisfying.
Before we get into the multiplayer, you mentioned the beta. I was always curious, how important is a beta in developing a multiplayer, helping to develop a game like Halo? I know when I gave away 10 codes for the beta, people were clamoring over it, like all over. I got so many emails in my inbox. Like, reminder, don't put out your personal email when doing a contest. But like, how important is the beta for you guys?
It was hugely. I mean, for us, we had to do it. It was no question about it. We did it for Halo 3 and for Reach. We have even more crazy stuff that we're doing. So it was really important for us, and we were thrilled that we had about 2.7 million unique people ultimately come and play our beta. So all sorts of bugs were discovered. We made balancing adjustments, map layouts were tweaked. On the networking side, we were able to test a lot because we've really rebuilt that part of our game significantly. So for us to make sure that we put a game out that's going to be a great experience on day one and also be able to last for years, I don't think that could have happened without a beta of that scale.
Tell us a little more about the finished multiplayer and firefight experience. Of course, the Halo 3 ODST was very inventive and very good, but it was built off the Halo 3 engine. Now you guys have built this up from the ground up. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so firefight itself specifically, it was a great kind of appetizer in ODST, but now we're ready to kind of give you the full course. And first thing I think people will be happy to know is that we've added support for matchmaking right off the bat. So if your friends aren't online, you don't have to worry about it. You never got to play by yourself again. You'll just hop in, pick a playlist for firefight, and the game will match you with 3 teammates. So that's awesome. Beyond that, though, we've added a whole lot of customization abilities to the game. I gave you a little glimpse of those today, but ODST's firefight, as fun as it was vanilla. I mean, it was the same experience, the same random assortment of enemies, the same skull progression, and while that was fun, we definitely know we can do better. So this time we're going to let you guys become armchair designers and come up with your own firefight experiences. You'll be able to custom tailor exactly what type of enemies will appear throughout the course of your game. Do you want to play 1 round or do you want to play 10 rounds? Do you want a game to go infinitely like it did in ODST? You could do that as well. So you can pretty much control every enemy that comes in. You'll be able to control Spartan traits as well. Do you want to run faster? Do you want to have extra health? Do you want to have less health? Do you want to jump higher? Do you want to do extra damage? What loadouts will you have access to in your version of firefight? So pretty much every single facet of the firefight experience you'll be able to tweak and configure any way you like it. Save your version of firefight, put it up in your file share on Xbox Live, and then the rest of us will get to try out your take on what firefight's all about.
Looking at this game, it really seems like this is really tailored towards the hardcore fans of the canon of Halo. Talk a little about how it is to design a game specifically focusing on that group of people.
Well, I mean, I think it's both. First, I just want to say that, it's important that Reach is a standalone sort of separate story. So if you are new to the series, I can't imagine a better time to experience Halo than jumping in right here at the start. So we definitely had that in mind, but you're right. I mean, for us, knowing this is our last Halo game, we wouldn't have had 10 years of success with Halo without our fans. So it's important for us to know that we can put out a game that will withstand and that we can look back on and be happy with. And it's our last Halo title. It's something that our fans are going to know and love, and that's why we're putting so many features into the game, that we're really pushing this further than we ever have before and letting people make their own firefight experiences. And we're bringing Forge back and doing some cool stuff with that. And it really is a labor of love to sort of not only thank our fans for being with us for so long and helping us get to this point, but making sure that we give them a great Halo experience that's going to last well beyond the point where Bungie's no longer involved with Halo.
Very cool, Brian. Thanks for your time again, man.
All right.
Good stuff. Halo Reach comes out September the 14th for Xbox 360. I'm Ray Carsillo.